Hey guys, Huzzy bringing you another video. Now welcome to another Challenger Spectate, and today we are learning and watching from the best Lee Sin in the world. Obviously as voted on, not voted on, by a website that is saying this is the best person, and the way it will be doing that is combining a few factors. Rank, this player is Challenger on EU West. Win rate, they have a 70% win rate, and their KD. Their KD, they averagely get 7.6 kills a game, 4.3 deaths, and 7.6 assists. So quite a good KD with a 70% win rate while being in Challenger on EU West. So clearly pretty damn good. So today they are playing Lee Sin mid. Obviously Lee Sin has had that big buff a few patches ago that they lessened the E cooldown by 2 seconds. And on the last patch they actually nerfed that by making the E a 9-second cooldown. So just toning down the buff that they did. And obviously I was like, oh, are people still going to play it in lane? Yes, so this is a Challenger player still playing Lee Sin in mid lane. So it's not like, oh, the nerf has completely ruined it. They're still playing it. So that's quite interesting. Level 1, taking W, you know, just to have that kind of sustain and, you know, auto-attacking the Ziggs, getting the Ziggs a little bit lower. But obviously it's the range versus melee matchup, as we all know. The Ziggs is going to be looking to heavily poke out the Lee Sin. And we'll be obviously watching what Lee Sin does. And, you know, tanking minions, tanking W. This isn't looking too good for Lee Sin, to be honest. Worth also noting, both level 1 still, which is kind of hilarious. Whoa, aggressive Ziggs flashing over, missing the Q. Nautilus on his way. I don't even know what's going on. The Ziggs is in trouble. Remember, he's used blue, and Lee Sin gets him. Lee Sin was probably going to get that kill because the enemy team's damage just ran out. And yeah, blue team were, I guess, in the red jungle. Will Nautilus survive? Yes or no? No. And Lee Sin will also go back as well. Ziggs just TP'd back to mid, takes a tower hit for his liking, which isn't too good. But yeah, that's actually quite funny that the Ziggs was looking for the 1v1 kill and then kind of his damage ran out. So let's see what happens here. Remember, this is a Challenger game, ladies and gentlemen. 1 kill for the Lux. Trading so far. Lee Sin should make his way. His level 2. W's to save. Doesn't save in the end. Lee Sin lands his Q with then the extra damage. That is an XQ. Does get the Ginny. Flashes badly. W's on the Kai'Sa. Looking for the extra damage. And will survive. And get the kill. Holy moly. Challenger games are nuts. But now look at Lee Sin's KDA, ladies and gentlemen. He is 301. So this is the point that, you know, sometimes we all like League of Legends. A lot of us think that, you know, logically, you know what you're doing and it makes sense. So logically, Lee Sin, in some theories, shouldn't do that well in lane. Or he shouldn't do that well as a champion if you know what you're doing. And logically, why do I say that? He's an early game champion. So if you use the ultimate logic, Lee Sin early game, me going to play passive, don't let Lee Sin get fed early, we'll outscale. But it's one thing is in practice and one thing is logic. Logically, yes, don't fight a Lee Sin. Don't do aggressive plays early. But even in a Challenger game, people force really early game things and Lee Sin ends up 301 in the early game. Like, that's the point. And this is Challenger. It's why, again, I've always loved doing Challengers, so, you know, spectates and stuff, because it highlights that even in Challenger, people make silly mistakes or, you know, fighting a Lee Sin in the early game or forcing a little team fight, basically, at level 1, level 2. And the ultimate person that's going to gain from that is the Lee Sin. But anyway, goes back and does get himself a serrated Dirk. So, you know, that lethality early is going to, you know, bring a lot of damage, to be honest. And, you know, Ziggs has got a tier. So he's got Corrupting Potion tier. So not a lot of damage the Ziggs is really going to be doing. And by the way, this is something that I haven't noticed. And when I played Lee Sin mid, I didn't do it. Lee Sin, if you can see in the bottom left down here, is actually maxing his E. He's got rank 2 in E. He didn't go rank 2 in Q. He's maxing his E. And obviously that was kind of the reason why Lee Sin has been allowed or enabled to go to lane, was that E buff. So I guess that kind of makes sense. For those that are like, why? So Lee Sin can sometimes struggle with wave clear against, like, you know, lane champions. But the reduction on E makes that his wave clear is better because that's his AoE spell. And I guess if you're even maxing your E, which this one is clearly doing, then you have even better wave clear. Look at the damage. That Ziggs needs to be careful. Just the auto attacks that Lee Sin is doing is, yeah, just, you know, getting the Ziggs' health low. And that is worth knowing. Look at that! Oh my god! Okay, is anybody else shocked that Ziggs just died? I am. He just W'd and then just pressed E and got... Oh my god, I am shocked. Enemy team once again were invading the jungle of red team. I've got no idea what this game is. This is a Challenger game, apparently. Jhin in trouble. Will walk away. And that's probably it. Level 5 jungler versus level 4 Nidalee. I think maybe the Diana stole the red buff, it looks like. What a fiesta of a game. Holy moly. If you're enjoying it, please do throw a like on the video. Because, yeah, this is surprising. But, you know, the thing that, you know, pointing out, the Lee Sin is maxing E, and obviously that's what killed the Ziggs. Another reason might be because the E actually does magic damage. And that's the only thing of Lee Sin that does magic damage. So you can't build armor, which, you know, this Ziggs, if I had to guess in his runes, is running armor. So the magic damage of his E is not being resisted at all. That's really weird. Wow. That's very interesting. All right, Nautilus ganking bot lane. I think he wanted the Jhin, but doesn't get the Jhin. Again, it's actually quite... Oh, nearly gets that kill. Nidalee, no! Okay, gets the exhaust and the heal out. That's not too bad. It's really rare to see a Lux support nowadays, so some people are clearly still playing it here or there. Lee Sin rushing Merc Treads now, so again, Merc Treads, very good item, especially when you're in mid lane and you're against a mage that's going to poke you. Very often you're also seeing the Lee Sin. How is he playing the lane? He's using his W on himself a lot. Why? For those that don't know, if you self-cast the W, you're getting 10% lifesteal and spell vamp for 4 seconds when you're recasting it on yourself. So that actually gives him sustain in lane. It's quite effective. Oh, Lee Sin going a 1v2. What can he do here? Look at the damage! Auto-attacking. Dyna's dead. Don't know what the hell happened to the Ziggs. Not really sure. He missed his damage or something. I thought I saw his ultimate, but it's on cooldown. So he has it available, apparently. And then Lee Sin with red buff now will return to lane. And look at the lifesteal. He's going to just lifesteal his way probably back up. Obviously, red buff gives increased health regen also. So this is Lee Sin mid. This is why it's obnoxious. If you give him an inch, basically, in the early game, like what happened in the early team fight, it's very hard as a mage that you're scaling to do anything. You know, Lee Sin is an early game champion. What the hell do you do? He has high mobility, his damage is high, his utility's not bad, his sustain is good. So this is why Lee Sin is popular in lane now. I know some people have been playing him in top. Look at the E damage. Set is on the way. Diana's here too. Are they going to get anything? No. No, they are. Never mind. Oh, no, they're not. Lee Sin survived. No way. He survives. Wow. Good survival, let's be honest. That's fantastic. Will end up surviving and will head back. The set, by the way, obviously has the Gnar matchup in top lane. The set's going to have a very hard time against Gnar. And, you know, some of you may notice a couple people in this game. Odawamne, he's a pro or ex-pro. I don't follow the pro scene. I just know he's a pro of some kind. He's double farm right now of the set. The set's going to be doing basically no damage in this game if the Gnar plays well. And I would imagine they probably are. Nidalee gets dove. Lux dies to the tower. Reminding everyone, this is a challenger level game, so fiestas and weirdness happens in every single rating. It's why I've always said there's no such thing as elo hell. It's just solo queue. It just is what it is. It's just a bit of a mess. And I think solo queue has got messier as years go on. Was looking to lifesteal, jungle clear or steal there, but not going to in the end. And we'll go for the first tower play and we'll end up getting it. Worth knowing, which is quite interesting to me, level 4 rank in E, but then didn't max rank it, has now gone for a point in Q. That's weird, isn't it? Obviously, there are some champions out there, like Vel'Koz, that you can go 3 ranks in Q and then max your W, or some people do 3 ranks in W, then max your Q. There are some champions that you can kind of mix up the maxing of the skills, but it's a bit weird to leave it at level 4. Not get it level 5. Normally level 3 is roughly like, okay, I'll leave it at level 3, then max the other thing instead. So that's a bit of a weird thing for me, unless, like, you know, he didn't mean to and he just kind of fat-fingered the level. Who knows? But obviously farming well. The Gnar in top lane arguably farming just as well also. Has a Sheen in the early game, does the Gnar, by the way. That is for lane bullying. If you're like, what is that for? Does he build anything with Sheen? I don't think Gnar really does build anything with Sheen. It's just the actual item is really good for lane bullying. Because obviously the item itself gives you an empowered auto attack. So really good just for absolutely just auto attacking your melee opponent to death. And Set might be in trouble here. Because Nidalee's in top. But anyway, Lee Sin looking aggressive on the Ziggs. You know, that little bit of aggression gets a third of the health of the Ziggs. And that's he'll leave it there. You know, I don't need to do anything more. He did blow his control ward for that play. He's going all in under the tower. Ziggs has to flash and then uses the control ward to escape. Ziggs ulti. misses. So I like Ziggs quite a lot. People know this. Why don't you play Ziggs, Huz? You play a lot of mid lane at the moment. Where's Ziggs? Artillery mages suck. Meanwhile, TP Lee Sin at less than half health is going to come. W's to the Nautilus. Gets 1 kill. Can they go for this Jhin? He's going to look aggressive. Bad flash from Nautilus, a bit too slow. Can Lee Sin go at all? He should go aggressive on the Lux, if anything. He's just getting hit by Jhin ultimate. And dies. That was a bit of a misplay, but there we go. So bot lane, enemy bot lane doing quite well. So good for them. Nidalee in the area, summons the Rift Herald really far away from mid, and there's an active wave. So not the most useful Rift Herald, but she might be using it as a disguise or a distraction to do the dragon. Even though I don't think anyone's around to really stop her. Because the bot lane, I think, has gone back. Teleport in mid lane, and I don't know where Diana is. So that's the dragon. Nicely done. The Rift Herald, will it get the charge? It will get the charge at least, so that's good. So it does make a little bit of gold, at least for the Nidalee, and takes a couple plates off. Item build for Lee Sin has completed the Eclipse. And by the way, yes, the next level did complete finishing the E-Max. So I'm guessing the Q at rank 2 before maxing E. I'm guessing that was just a mistake. Well, I don't think I'm wrong in thinking that you're forced to max something. I think at level 8 you can have one ability maxed, I think. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think level 8 is when you can have one skill maxed. But yeah, as I was saying, artillery mages suck. You know, if you want evidence of artillery mages sucking, obviously just look at the game as itself. There's too much healing in the game, etc. Anyway, and it's all about burst damage. But the ultimate example of artillery mages sucking right now, the new upcoming mage. So the next champion we're getting is an AD carry, but designed for mid lane AD carry. So an auto-attacking ranged AD carry for mid. And then the next champion is the mage. It was supposed to be the other way around, but they delayed the mage because in the initial design, she was an artillery mage, this new mage. The Lee Sin kick mid-air. Oh, look at that. Diana, unfortunately, in the area. Will he die? No. Good play by Lee, but a little bit too crazy. But yeah, the new upcoming mage, she was originally an artillery mage, and Riot was like, artillery isn't really worth doing anymore. We're actually changing the mage, and they're changing her to be more of a conventional mage, so a burst mage, let's be honest. So, you know, that there are sometimes new champions that are slightly different to the meta, that if Riot wants to change up the meta, that's when a new champion will come in. Or like, so when I heard that she was an artillery mage, I was like, oh, Riot might make the artillery meta come back, because they won't want their new champion to not be popular and not be used. And Riot, you can tell, Riot is not interested in artillery mages because they changed their upcoming artillery mage from an artillery to a burst mage. That says everything about artillery mages right now. Which, I don't know if they've ever done that before. At least they've never admitted to doing that. But, yeah. Bit of a disappointment because I like artillery mages. I like Xerath. You know, Xerath isn't as bad, I will say, because they actually buffed Xerath recently to give him a bit of burst. Vel'Koz does do some burst as well. But, like, Ziggs, his burst is lackluster. He is an artillery mage. And that's where he's just kind of, he's faded. Doesn't mean you can't play him, by the way. If you want to play him, if you're good at him, play him. Definitely, you know, it's your video game. Play the champion you want. It's just, you could be playing better things is always the thing that you could say. All right, so yeah, Eclipse from Lee Sin. Next item, I don't know, probably Asterix maybe, or Edge of Night possibly. So we'll see how he builds. But this is the problem. Like, you know, the Ziggs has had a bad game, 1-4. But I've played against Lee Sin. A few days ago, there was a Vladimir game. If you've not watched it, please do. I'm a Vlad versus a Lee. And then there came a time that Lee just stopped beating me. And then I beat him. Obviously, Vlad is maybe a bit different than Ziggs. That Vladimir is that kind of hyper-scaling carry mage in even melee range, basically. But, you know, if you play passive, if you stay under your tower, you can just survive kind of against the Lee Sin. If this Ziggs was a little bit more careful this game and stayed under tower a bit more, respected the Lee Sin early, this Ziggs would not be 1-4 right now. Lands the Q. He's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, he misses some of it because of the tenacity and Merc Treads. He just managed to walk away. And, yeah. Kind of waiting for something crazy. Obviously, the Lee Sin, worth knowing, he's 6-2 at the moment. He's actually, the score is incredibly good. But we're kind of in a stalemate. Nothing really is happening right now. Dragon, you can see in the timer over here, is spawning in 1 minute 10. So that might be the next thing that occurs. Nidalee, way too aggressive, finds herself in the jungle but will escape. And Lee Sin, oh, well, we missed the play. Let's go back and watch that because we're watching, you know, bot lane. So let's see what happens here. Ziggs is nearly out of mana, has a little bit to do with maybe one combo. So let's see. So there's a play happening near his jungle. Lee Sin Qs. Oh my god. Challenger. I'm reminding people we're watching Challenger. The Ziggs W'd wrongly and booted both him and Lee Sin out of tower to safety for Lee Sin, to danger for Ziggs. That, yeah, Challenger, that happens. Mistakes happen. In the end of the day, that's the point. You know, everybody can criticize mistakes. People can go in Twitch chats of streamers and go, oh, you're bad, or you made one mistake, or whatever it may be. Challenger players make mistakes like this. Every player does. If you don't think you do, then you're probably wrong. Like, well, no, you are wrong. Every player does. That's just part of being a human being, is making mistakes. We're not robots. Anyway, towers does go down. Enemy team just seem, they can't quite engage on the enemy team, seems to be the issue. You know, Set, I think, did just use ulti. I don't even know who on, but there's no damage. Look at the health bars. Everybody's healthy, basically, on red team. So, I don't know. Lux going too aggressive, and there you go. So, you know, Huz, what was that? Lux flashed. So, there are some abilities in League, and I would say generally older champions, not newer, that if part of the animation goes off, the damage is done no matter what. Darius ulti, Ezreal ulti is another example. Tristana W, if some of the animation, she will still jump. Lee Sin Q is one of these. That if there's enough of the animation that goes off, no matter what, you are getting hit by the damage. So even though it looked there that Lux flashed at the right time, kinda, that she flashed after the Lee Sin landed, it was too late. The damage was already gone off at that point. So, yeah, maybe in the future, Riot should look to update that. Some of it will be, I would say, partially server lag. You know, response time with the server. In Call of Duty or FPS games, they call tick rate. What is the tick rate of the server? The higher the tick rate, the more accurate the damage profile will be of, like, due to the server lag. I don't imagine the tick rate of LoL games is incredibly high. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I think Valorant, one of Valorant's, obviously Riot's FPS game, one of the big sell points to Valorant, that they came out of the gate, and it was kind of like I guess a diss to CSGO, was we have double the tick rate of CSGO, I think was the claim. So, you know, where sometimes in like an FPS game, you could be around the corner, but you still get headshot. You're like, dude, I was around the corner. That will be a low tick rate game. In Valorant, it's a lot more accurate when it comes to that type of thing, because it knows it's updating you to the server way more. So look at the E damage, I'll say. The thing that's impressing me with this Lee Sin is the E damage. Meanwhile, we're literally having an all-in bot lane here. Gnar goes for the Jhin. Set also TPs. The Q's hit. Oh, the Gnar didn't E. Lee Sin kicks. Diana's in trouble. Lee Sin in trouble too. Flashes. Set continuing just to run. This Set has had quite an unfortunate game, I'll say. And he ends up dead. This poor Set. Norlis is in the area. He's ulting. Lee Sin will come over with the W. Coming over to the Ziggs, who's in trouble now, who's on the wrong side, and Lee Sin finishes up the Q, does go down. And by the way, that's an ace without Nidalee. The Nidalee this whole time just went mid lane, used the Rift Herald, got the tier 2 mid, probably going to continue pushing the Rift Herald into the first base, the first like base tower, and yeah, so that was a 4v5 ace. The enemy team, I just say, they've been a bit too eager in some cases of, oh, they're making a play, let's everybody teleport, let's tower dive. Like, the Set's had a bit of a rough game, let's be honest. And yeah, like, I don't know. Oh, oh my god, the Nidalee got the inhib. Wow, I didn't think she'd get the inhib. So with the Rift Herald help, she breaks the inhib at 18 to 19 minutes. That is not bad. Another teleport? What? This is a dead person, surely. Okay, they're not going to kill them. Lee Sin with W away. You can tell the Ziggs is angry. Like, those ultimates are a bit, like, you know, a bit excessive. Diana going all in for the Gnar. She will get the Gnar because, you know, Diana is still very strong, by the way. I think some people don't think that she is, but she is. But you're fighting the Lee Sin now. The Lee Sin is very strong. Can you kill him? You're 3v1, but you're going to back away. Set gets killed by the Kai'Sa in mid. And Nidalee is having fun with a Jhin, who plays that really well. And Nidalee should maybe die. Oh, the heal, the red smite. And Nidalee's alive, the red smite. Remember the damage reduction, 20% damage reduction, I think it is, in the 1v1 of whoever you've smited. Yep, that just saved Nidalee. Wow. But Lee Sin survives that whole play, which is not bad. and will continue side pushing. So Sterix, by the way, second item, not Edge of Night. Bit more survivability. It still was a damage item, but gives you that extra layer of survivability. Obviously, as a Lee Sin, you're a melee focus champion, clearly, that you have to go all in to do damage, and that puts you at risk. Kai'Sa goes into the base, gets 1 kill, but then ends up dead to the Lux support, and Lee Sin's going to return as well to base. Farm, you can see the Ziggs hasn't done bad with farm by any means. Has actually stayed relatively close considering he's 1 and 6 versus the 10-2 Lee Sin. GA looks to be the next item. So GA, BF Sword and Stopwatch. Again, kind of going to what I just said. Lee Sin is an all-in melee champion. Sterix gives you that survivability. Well, the ultimate example, the ultimate item for all-in champions like that is you can completely go all in and die, but you kind of revive. So it is the ultimate example. You know, Lee Sin, Rengar, these type of champions love GA because if you don't have a GA in late game and you have to go all in, you're probably going to end up dying a lot. So GA can just sometimes stop that. Lee Sin looking aggressive on the Lux. Can he get anything? Lands the Q. With the damage, Lux has to flash. Surprised he just didn't flash the initial Q, to be honest. And yeah, Lee Sin kind of just knocking on the enemy base, going, yo, what's up? Heading up to top lane, though, Jhin weirdly split pushing. Not really sure about this for Jhin. He's 2 levels down on the Kai'Sa, and he's just going to end up probably dead. Oh, wow, the Kai'Sa didn't go for it. I'm actually kind of surprised. Will she look for a W? No? I'm very surprised about that. Again, the Jin's not had a bad game by any means, but I would think the Kai'Sa should have beaten him by now. Diana, you can see over here, going all in for the Lee Sin. Not even close. Look at the damage output. Kicks her away. With them, the Q follow-up. Zhonya's for Lee Sin. He Zhonya's his, blocks all the damage. That was quite bad, actually. And Lee Sin Q for the Lux. He gets exhausted. Will he survive? Will he die? Let's see. Keep watching. Look at the autos just healing him up. He's going to go in. He has to go in. Yes, he is. He gets W'd by Ziggs. The damage just from Ziggs wasn't there, but he does get the kill in the end. Lee Sin obviously could have survived if he really wanted just to walk away. But good to see. Nidalee gets another kill on Diana. Nautilus coming in. CC's the set. Wrong direction there, set boy. So you're ending up dead again from Collector. And yeah, so this was a pretty cool Lee Sin game. It might be the end of the game. I'm not really sure. But this is kind of like an educational point of Lee Sin did well this game. But you saw that there was like several 10-minute times that Lee Sin wasn't really doing much in mid because he can't sometimes. It was only when the Ziggs went a bit too aggressive or made a mistake like with his W that kind of gave openings for something like Lee, because you know, that is what Lee Sin's about. It's utilizing the enemy's mistakes. Nice spear. But this is like an educational piece. If you find yourself against a lane Lee Sin, I urge you to just play a little bit smart and passive against him. You know, what made this game was the fight over here at like level 1 that Lee Sin ended up being 3 kills. If that never happened, the Lee Sin doesn't snowball as an early game champion. So you really sometimes have to think about, oh, they're early game, we're not. Ziggs is definitely not an early game champion. Let's calm it down, let's play passive, and hopefully outscale. That's like what happened in the Vladimir game for me a few days ago. But there was the best Lee Sin player statistically in the world right now. Challenger EU West. Really fun game to watch, though. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on it. Let me know what you think of Lee Sin in the lane Lee Sin, at least, in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys next time. Remember to subscribe, by the way, and ding the bell. Share the content if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.